Hi, I am Nicole Alonso, and I play Tank in Crawl or Die, and you are watching the 13th Wolfman.
Hey everyone, you know who I am. I'm the 13th Wolfman. You know who I have on today? I have a young lady named Nikki Alonso, or Nicole Alonso, however you want to pronounce it. She plays Tank in the new movie Crawl or Die. Welcome to Sit Down, Nikki.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you can be here. We were talking about it, a little behind the scenes, that took a while to get this all set up, but it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
I I must say, I saw Crawl or Die over the weekend. I love this movie.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It's
This
always nice to hear that.
this was I mean, it's a very simple idea for a movie,
Yeah,
and I think that's what I fell in love with the most. It's not oversaturated with a lot of, all this outside stuff that they're accounting for plot points. It's very simple. You got to get the young lady package, which I love the fact that no one called her by her name.
right.
She was just known as, you kept on saying, package, follow me. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's like the coolest nickname.
yeah, yeah, that was fun. I know the director kind of wanted it that way because he didn't really want her to be human to them at first. She was just the mission, like she's
Exactly.
the package and get it delivered. So I think that was intentional on his part for sure.
And I know that Oklahoma Ward, who is the director,
Yes,
um, and he also wrote this, right?
he did. Yeah.
So I kind of got a feeling that there was a little inspiration there from Escape from New York.
Well, you'd have to ask him specifically, but I know that he loves that movie. So I wouldn't doubt if there wasn't a little bit of inspiration from there, for sure. I know he also is inspired by several movies. But yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Well, again, just the simplicity of it.
Yeah,
I mean, in Escape from New York, the whole simplicity was that Snake Plissken had to go in and save the president. In this one, Tank and her, I don't want to call them mercenaries, or they were more like a task force,
yeah,
you
they're like
know,
yeah, specialized task force.
and their job was to just deliver the package.
Exactly. Yep. And then that
So,
didn't go so well, did it?
nah, I don't want to give away why the young lady is called package. I want people to go out and see this and figure it out for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope they do. I really, we're on Hulu and we're on all different platforms right now, so it's very easy to see it. And I really encourage people to watch it because I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, I saw it on Vimeo. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for a few weeks ago. I had Jessica Cameron on here, and she did two movies with spiders in them, and she is deathly afraid of spiders.
Yeah.
You know, you're in Crawl or Die, and which is being hailed as the most claustrophobic movie ever. Do you suffer from claustrophobia?
Um, I actually didn't. When the movie started, I was like, no problem. I used to love playing hide and seek. I'd hide in the smallest dryer and all that kind of stuff. Didn't bother me. But I have to say, filming in those tunnels and being in there for the length of time I had to spend in there, it definitely got really scary at times. Like I would start to feel like I couldn't breathe, and there were times in the smaller tunnels where I'd get stuck and couldn't move. So it got intense at times, and I wouldn't say that it made me claustrophobic, but I definitely got the sense of what that would be like to be a claustrophobic person because it was really tough at times for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the people watching, there's a minor spoiler. As the movie progresses, the pipes get smaller and smaller. Uh,
Yes.
did did you ever look at like one of them and go, Oklahoma? There's no way I'm fitting in there.
Well, it's actually funny when we were figuring out the sizes of the tunnels. The last smallest tunnel that I had to fit in, he had me sort of try them on, if that makes sense. And he was like, I want you to get into the smallest possible one that you can fit in. So I was having to crawl into these tunnels and be like, okay, this is it. Like any smaller and I won't fit. So yeah, I remember the first time I saw it sitting there, I was like, I'm not getting in that. There's no way, you know? And then I had to lay down and stretch my arms out and kind of worm into it. And I fit, but not very well.
Yeah, there was one scene where I thought, "There's no way she's gonna fit in there," and that's when you're back crawling.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. That was had to be my favorite scene in the movie.
Oh,
That
yeah. Yeah, that was,
that was so intense.
yeah, it's funny because everyone always has a different part of the movie that makes them feel the most claustrophobic. And I never know which scene it's going to be for people because I guess different areas make people feel differently. So that's interesting that
Yeah, like I said, it didn't make me feel claustrophobic, but it just made me. I was sitting there watching. I'm like, she's on her back. I think the boobs might get in the way. She's gonna get stuck.
yeah, and it's funny. I don't have the largest chest, and somehow they still got in the way. And I was like, "What is this? It's so tight." But yeah, that was that one is one of the times that I did get stuck a few times. I know there's a few yells or something in there where that was real because I was getting frustrated and I couldn't move. So yeah,
You could tell. You can tell that you're just barely pushing along with your like the toes of your boots or whatever. And it's like
yeah.
you know.
And the
It,
crazy thing is, like, all the tunnels in the movie were real, so there were no cutouts. There was
right.
no like for air or anything like that. So once you're in, it's like you're crawling through, or you have to wait for us to cut you out, which will take an hour. So yeah,
It actually brought up a memory. I forgot all about this. When I was like 6, I got stuck in a drain pipe.
oh God.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Fireman came, got me out. No big deal.
I guess it's good you're not claustrophobic because that would have been.
Well, it was one of those drain pipes where it's like it was underneath a neighbor's driveway. So
Mhm.
here's one end, and here's the other end, and so I go in this way, and I could still see. I could see daylight as clear. It's not like I was in the dark going, "Oh my God, no one." It's like I could see and I could scream. So it's yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the costume. Did you have any qualms running around on what you could describe as basically a bathing suit with motocross boots?
I really didn't. The I felt I without giving too much away, I felt that there was a reason for it in the movie. It's not like she just strips down for the hell of
Right,
it.
right.
So I felt in that situation that's something that Tank would have done, and so it didn't bother me. I was I kind of watched some videos and read up on soldiers and female soldiers, and they walk around in the barracks with the guys in that type of stuff, and it doesn't bother them. So I kind of felt like that was her attitude towards it. She was more focused on what was going on, and it didn't even occur to her that she was in shorts and a tiny shirt.
Yeah, no, I love the boots.
I do too. Those are fun.
Those are so cool. And the you had the lanterns basically attached to the tops of them, which was really cool.
Yeah, I've got to give credit to Oklahoma Ward for that. He did extensive research and testing with all different lighting because he only wanted to use natural lighting in the tunnels. So he found those really awesome flashlight lantern things that we used, and they ended up working really great for that. So
So, how did you get involved with this movie? I mean, did it just come out of nowhere, or?
I actually knew the director, Oklahoma Ward. I auditioned for his first film that he did years ago. And
Oh,
then
right, the patient 136 or something like that.
yeah, Isolation of Subject 136.
Yeah.
So I was in that film, and then we were roommates for a long time, and then we ended up dating. And so we were living together in LA, and both of us were wanting to do another movie. And he came up with the concept for Crawl or Die. And we decided that we were going to leave LA because everything there is so expensive to do anything, movies. So we were like, let's go to Tulsa where we can get a cheap piece of land, build our studio, and film this movie. So I was pretty much involved from the beginning, and I helped on pretty much every aspect from, set build to casting to everything. And so I kind of knew I was going to be in it, though. He told me about Tank and all that from the very beginning, so that was nice.
Well, yeah, along with starring in this movie, you also composed the theme music and produced the film.
I did,
So,
yeah. Yeah, we produced the film together, and I did write a song and record it for the movie, and that was fun. I really enjoyed doing music, but I'm super shy about it. I don't like to perform in front of people or anything like that, so I love being able to do music for film to where I can put it out there and do what I love to do, but not have to
so
sing.
which would you say was harder, producing the movie or composing the music?
Oh God, I would say definitely producing the movie because it was such a long process that the music for me was kind of fun. It was just play. I got to go into the studio and just play and sing, and it was a great time. Not that it wasn't work, but it was quick. It was more of a quick thing. So whereas the movie, it took us a while. It took us a long time. So definitely producing.
Um, from what I understand, you guys you said something about you had like a low budget, no budget kind of thing. What was the budget on this, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, legally, I can't say exactly, but
Okay.
what the director always says is he and Robert Rodriguez could get into an argument over whose first movie cost less, and I think we would win. If that's
Okay.
any
That
indication.
you know what? That works for me. And that's a great answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, I know there's supposed to be a trilogy of Tank movies.
Yes.
Now, of course, Tank being the person you played in the film. Do we have any updates on what might the second film be?
The second film is the sequel to the first Crawl or Die.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about it because Oklahoma is very good about keeping things secret from me because he wants me to be surprised when I read the script. But I do know that it's the sequel, and you'll get to learn a little more about Tank, a little more about the creature from the film, and it'll expand a little more on the story. And there'll be lots more claustrophobicness.
Oh,
And
cool.
and also speaking of spiders, there's going to be tarantulas in that one. So that should be
Okay.
fun because I hate spiders as well.
So we know that we know that you'll kind of be freaking out on that one.
I will. I'm not sure how I'll handle that, but we'll see.
Well, what were some of the funner scenes? I mean, a lot of it takes place in the tunnels, but I mean, there are a few scenes outside the tunnels. Uh, you must have had some scenes that you thought were kind of fun to film.
Yeah, let's see. I actually really there's a scene where I'm having to crawl out of a pipe down towards the ground.
Right.
That was a lot of fun and interesting because of how it was all rigged and how I had to be held so I didn't fall, obviously. But that was fun doing that. I felt like a stunt person, and I like doing stunts like that, so that was fun. And I also liked when we had to rappel from the ceiling in the beginning, and when we're first coming into the tunnel, the big room, we got to rappel, and we actually got to do that, which was really fun. So, and then at first the tunnels were fun, like the bigger tunnels. I enjoyed kind of figuring out how to move and how a soldier might move in the tunnels. So that was always kind of interesting figuring out and how you'd carry that giant gun and still get down. And it was kind of fun to figure that out, actually. I miss,
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of touched on this earlier. It's like, so the movie is directed by Oklahoma Ward. By the way, is that really his name?
It is his name, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Uh, and you've worked with him on other movies, but what's it like working with him?
Well, it's funny because people ask that because we're dating, so they're always like, is that hard on set? But I actually think we figured out really well how to put aside this is work and that's separate from us. And as a director, he is the absolute best. I love working with him. I trust him 100%. He is so talented. He knows exactly what he wants. He's great with actors. I mean, he can I never feel like he's going to let me fail as an actor. He always will let me know, you're messing up, do it right. Here's what's going on. And he's very supportive.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, that was gonna be my follow-up question. What kind of director was he? It's like because there's a few different kinds. There's like the guys that they'll just say action, and then whatever happens happens, and they don't really give a whole lot of direction. And there's the other ones that are like totally hands-on, and it sounds like that's the kind of person that he is.
Yeah, he is. He's hands-on. He'll allow you to play as an actor and he wants you to come up with ideas and present things to him, but he also knows what he wants and so he will guide you. And it's to me it's really helpful because I like a director to get in my face if they're not happy with something I'm doing. Like tell me so I can do better. And I really like that about him. He's not afraid to be like, "You're screwing up. What are you doing?" So, you know.
Well, that and he wears like, I mean, he's another John Carpenter style of actor because he wears like all these different hats.
Oh yeah, it was
You know,
crazy. It was
pro-
like,
producer, editor, writer, director. You
yeah, he
know,
does it all. And I remember the last day of filming, it was literally just him and I on set. So he was having to do everything. Like he was holding the light and the sound thing and the camera and trying to get my performance, and it was insane.
wow.
He's really talented. He just does it. He just somehow gets it done.
So wow, that's great. I love listening to people talk about people that they work with passionately because it makes me want to see more stuff by them.
Yeah.
You know, and the way you talk is like, okay, let's get the next Tank movie out there already.
Oh,
You know?
can't wait. I'm so excited. We're working on getting it started now, so I'll be excited to get going for sure.
If you could write, act, direct, or produce any classic horror film, what would it be and why?
Oh, like remake it?
Yeah, remake or yeah.
I actually don't know if I'd want to remake it because it's so good. It's my favorite movie. But I'd love to have somehow been involved in the original Alien. If I could
Oh,
have been on set or maybe been a small part or something, that would have been really cool. I love that movie.
yeah, that's a great movie. I do.
Yeah,
But of course, you would have had to move to England at the time to do that because of Ridley Scott.
right, right. I probably would have though for Ridley Scott. But I do. I love that movie. I love Ripley. I've had a few fans write in and they're like, your character reminds me of a modern day Ripley. And I always freak out when people say that because I love her and I watched her performance in Alien so many times when I was preparing to play Tank. So it was pretty cool to hear that.
It is true. You basically are a modern day Ripley, with a little Wendy Williams thrown in,
Yeah, yeah.
from the plasmatics.
Yeah, it's funny because the director is the one who wanted the hair, and he was actually had in mind Billy Idol, his hair when he was
Yeah.
young. And so I always think it's funny that people say Wendy Williams because I see that too. I totally see that with the mohawk.
Well, yeah. When we were promoting this, the Leo, the guy from the Dorkening, put up some pictures, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, she, because you had the long brown hair. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
she looks nothing like Tank.
Yeah, yeah, that was a huge change. That was one of the things when we were discussing me playing Tank at the beginning. He was like, "You're gonna have to get a mohawk, and you're gonna have to be okay with that." I was like, okay, I'll do it."
It's only
So
hair.
yeah, it'll grow. It'll grow back.
you know.
Tell that to my mother, who I still have to hear it every time I talk to her. What'd you do to your hair?
It's for my career, Ma.
I know.
What's the best, oddest, or worst thing that's ever happened to you in the horror business?
Oh, wow. I would say dealing with the sales agents trying to get the movie out there. They,
Distribution.
yeah, not so much the distributor, but we dealt with several different sales agencies, and they just all really seem to be sharks that are out to get everything they can out of you and screw you any way that they can. And that's been our experience, and that's been pretty much the most awful experience, like with how much crap went into fighting with them and lawyers and trying to get paid. And it's just been, and it's ongoing because they have the rights for like 7 years, so it's just an ongoing battle with these people, and it's been pretty terrible.
You know, if you go back and you watch like the last 3 to 4 weeks of my sit down,
Yeah.
I've gotten that same answer. Seriously,
Yep.
everyone says the same thing.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's, you would think that they'd be honest because everybody can make money, but they don't care. They're just out to get as much as they can and then move on to the next person. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We tell everyone that now that's a filmmaker that's getting ready to deal with sales agents, we're like, make sure you have a really good lawyer, because if not, you'll get totally screwed completely.
well, when we go off camera, I'll tell you the way that Jessica Cameron, said it.
Actually, we met with Jessica Cameron while we were in California, and she was kind of telling us her stories about it too. So, yeah, we were on the same page with that, and it's crazy. She's a sweetheart, but it's
She
crazy.
is.
Yeah.
What's your favorite worst movie of all time?
Worst movie.
Yeah. Yeah, see, yeah, that just
Let me think about it. I have some guilty pleasures that I watch. I'm trying to think. Worst movie. I love I know this is dumb, but I watch it every Halloween because it's probably from being a kid watching it or whatever, but I love those Halloween Town, those Halloween Town
Oh,
movies. And
I haven't watched them personally, but I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, they're so cheesy and bad, but I just watch them every year because Oklahoma is sitting over here saying I should say Hocus Pocus, but I think that's a great movie, so I'm not going to say that. I love that movie.
So I'm guessing that would be his answer.
Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't like that movie. I'm sure he has other bad movies that he likes that Xanadu movie, so I can give him hell about that.
Wow, Xanadu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in junior high when that came out.
I
Wow.
still haven't seen it, but
Not missing anything. I mean, Disco and Olivia Newton-John, yay.
That's funny.
And what's the best or worst scene in any horror film ever?
Oh God. Get Away from Her, You Bitch might be one of the best ones for me. From
Yeah,
Aliens.
that's a really good one.
Yeah. Or let's see, best. I would say the end of Crawl or Die ranks up there for me, but I'm biased.
I love when you scream crawl in that movie.
Yeah, I like that too. That was good.
Your voice, I mean, it sounds like you would scream that thing like about 600 times because your voice sounds almost raw.
Yeah, I probably had. I can't remember specifically, but I'm sure. I know that was kind of an important scene because he knew he wanted to use that in the trailer and stuff. So I'm sure I did yell it a few times.
Yeah, it just sounds like there's It almost sounds like this is it. This is the last one, or I'm, I can't talk anymore, type of thing.
Yeah, there were several scenes in the movie like that, especially when we were in the dirt tunnels, because you would just breathe all that dirt and it got in your throat and stuff. So yeah, probably that would make sense. And
That's
then worst, I think the worst would probably be like Battlefield Earth. I haven't even seen that whole movie because I walked out of it, but
movie
I
was
would
so
say
bad.
any scene from that movie is probably the worst.
That movie was so bad.
So bad. Not even good bad, just bad, bad. Terrible.
So you have a song on iTunes, which is in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Rock With Me. It's a demo that has 3 songs on it. So it's got the one from the movie and then 2 other songs. But yeah, it's on iTunes under Nikki. That's what I do for my music is Nikki.
So which came first? Was it the music bug or the acting bug?
Definitely the acting. But they both kind of started around the same time. I started acting in middle school, just in school plays and stuff like that. And then in high school, I continued on doing theater, but I also did like choir and stuff. So I really have loved both from a very early age. But it's always been acting is what I've always really wanted to be an actor. So
Yeah, I did choir in junior high and high school.
yeah, choir is great though. It's so much fun.
And it's interesting because a lot of times you wind up singing songs you would. We sang songs for like winter, for like the winter shows that I'd never heard of growing up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We would sing in like, not even in English. It was like, gosh, I can't remember now, Greek or something. I don't know. But we sang these like very ethereal church choir type songs in my choir, and it's crazy that you'd never listen to that type of music, but it's fun to sing it as a group and kind of get those harmonies going, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, don't you wish choir back when we were in school was more like Glee or whatever?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, that'd have been
Well,
fun
I,
to sing.
I mean, they're all doing like all these stylized versions of rock songs, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. That would have been fun.
So, you have anything to promote besides Crawl or Die?
Well, just basically Crawl or Die and the sequel's coming, and I would encourage everyone to sign up for our newsletter, which is at crawlordietrilogy.com, because we will be sending out information as it becomes available, and we'll have t-shirts and posters and all that for sale on the website too. And that's really the main thing I'm focused on right now. So that's the main thing I have to promote, which would be the sequel coming up. So
Are you guys going to be hitting any conventions like Texas Frightmare Weekend or?
I don't know that we'll be hitting it this year, but I'm thinking when the sequel is finished and comes out, we'll probably have some sort of circuit that we do, what be it festivals or if we hit some of the conventions and stuff like that. But I'm not exactly sure of the schedule yet for that. But
24-hour live feed.
but we are going to be doing once the set build starts, we're going to be doing a 24-hour live feed of the set. So that'll be on the website as well. And if you sign up for the newsletter, we'll be sure to send out, the live feed is starting this date, and you can just check in at all times and see what's going on.
Very
And
cool.
we did that with the last movie, and it was cool because some people would check in and see things happening that we didn't necessarily announce, but they could kind of see a little hint of things that might be going on. So yeah, you could check it.
So if people want to follow you, they can find you where?
I am on Facebook and Twitter, obviously, and my Twitter is at Nicole M. Alonso, and then just Nicole Alonso on Facebook. The Crawl or Die Facebook page, or I have an Oklahoma and Nicole Facebook page that I also run with Oklahoma. So any of those sites, I'm on there every day, so you can contact me at any time there.
Cool. I want to
Yeah.
thank you for coming on. I love talking to you.
You too. And thank you so much for the interview. Seriously, I appreciate it.
I'm glad you could make it and be on, and we can sit back and have this wonderful conversation, because I honestly love the movie. I mean,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna scream it from the highest rafters. Go see Crawler Die.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And with that, I'm the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.